Hi, my name is Brandon Drangle.
And I'm Gus Geldman.
Thank you for taking time out to learn more about our Realty Influencer package. We value your time, and we have a lot to cover. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in.
Now, there's some basic components to an intentional internet presence that every serious and successful real estate agent is going to need as we get deeper and deeper into the digital age.
Now, we're going to go over each of those components and how we address them here with our Realty Influencer package. But first, we think it's important that we tell you a little bit about what drives us as founders of this company.
Now, me, I love sales and marketing. I've been selling since the days of cold calling and fax blasts. So you know I've been doing this for a while. Now, I've lasted so long and had so much success because I've always stayed at the front of my market by surrounding myself with people who knew how to keep me at the cutting edge of technology. Now, in my over 30 years in business, I've never received a salaried paycheck from anyone. I have always only eaten what I killed. Now, I respect real estate professionals because I can relate. You folks have the courage to put it all on the line, believe in yourselves, and step out with no safety net to generate your own paycheck. I'm all about being part of empowering you to do that and do it effectively.
Me, I love technology, and apparently it loves me, as it's always come extremely easy to me. If it's a computer, phone, TV, network device, app, or anything related to the internet, I will dissect it and master it. I've created and managed so many websites that I've lost count over the years. I've done corporate SEO work and worked with all things internet presence, literally since there was an internet to have a presence on. I know how much this stuff can impact a business. And when I see how few real estate professionals have all their pieces in place, it drives me crazy. I know that online visibility is indispensable for the future, and without it, their success will be affected. That's why I'm so excited about what we're doing here. I know everybody talks about it, but we are genuinely positioning iRealtyPartners to be disruptors in the real estate industry.
Now, when we started looking into the companies that some of the agents were trying to use to solve some of this stuff, we found that many of them were providing square pegs for round holes. They just didn't get the industry. They were trying to sell general products to a super specific business.
And the ones that did specialize in real estate didn't offer a full service solution. You had to piece together different parts from different providers. Or, on the other side of the spectrum, there were other offerings that were just way more than the average agent needed, and they required way too much work to get where they were actually using them effectively.
We haven't even talked about the cost factor. A lot of the solutions that we looked at were just ridiculously expensive, especially when you started piecing them together. So we went to work with the mission of providing a better alternative. And here's what we came up with.
So here's how it works. The first thing we do is make sure that your search engine result page is up to par. That means we organize and optimize your Google My Business page, if you haven't already. The next part of this is your website. It doesn't have to be super deluxe, but it has to be solid. It has to make an impression and say that you are in fact a serious professional. It should also have a great search feature and a way for prospects to easily sign up for alerts. Next, we make sure that it's visible, because a website that hasn't been properly mapped and cited is kind of like a really pretty billboard that you put in your backyard so that only people know it exists are you and your friends and family. Now, if someone is really looking you up and they like your search engine result and your website, the next place they'll likely go is your social media. You should have a business page, wherever possible, that is separate from your personal page, where you're posting real estate relevant content that leads to branded landing pages. So that's what we give you on every major social media platform. And your reviews are also key. We give you a system to get reviews that is quick and easy for your clients, but more on that later. Now, we also have 2 add-on services that we think are super cool. Retargeting works by showing your online ads to those viewers who have visited your website before. As your potential customers continue to search the web long after they've left your website, They'll find your ad following them from site to site, increasing their awareness of your brand. And finally, we round things out with a property promotion boost, which is a great way to get listings you might not otherwise get by offering something many agents aren't even aware of. By adding the ability to feature a property on its own landing page and then digitally market it across the internet, you can fulfill a need that some sellers perceive exists.
Now, in another life, I used to work on Wall Street. And back then, whenever I went to a meeting, at some point, business cards would come out. And I would hand my business card to whoever I was meeting with, and they would hand me theirs. And the moment they handed me their card, almost imperceptibly, by muscle memory basically, without even realizing it, I would do this. I would rub the card. And what I was doing was I was seeing what kind of paper was it, were the letters raised, and based on what I felt, if the paper was good and the letters were raised, and I would think to myself, okay, this guy's a professional. Now, by the same token, if when I rubbed the card, it felt like it was cheap paper that they printed at Kinko's and then cut with their scissors, with their kids' scissors from home, well, that would give me another impression. Today, the website is your business card. It needs to look good. Let me show you what we do. All right. So here at our website, you see under the IDX development, this section here. And as you can see, it says, check out our latest work below. And this is just some of the examples of some of the sites we've built. Let me show you our latest work. Now, this is Taisha's site. And the first thing I want you to see, we do this with all of our sites. Every one of our sites, we start out with video, because video gives you that parchment paper raised letter feel. It just speaks volumes to the quality and superiority of your site, as opposed to a flat image site. Now, right after that, what you're going to see is we like to highlight the actual agent. Picture info. This bio here, this is really your first opportunity to begin the process of personal branding. It is so important. You got to understand something. In today's environment, where people feel like they have a right to know you and know about you, with social media and everything, and just the times that we're in, it's important that you begin to create a personal brand that speaks to something about you that's going to hopefully connect with the people who you're trying to connect with. And this is a good place, because you control this real estate, to begin that process. Now, next, you see we have this latest listings page. And as you see, it's also scrolling. And the idea here is you're not only connecting on a personal level, but what you're looking to do is to establish yourself as an expert, as a source of information. And one of the ways you do that is you make sure that your website is chock-block full of information. So this current listings, latest listings, just gives you this feel like, oh, things are happening. She's got information. I can keep on getting information from her. And that also brings me back to the website if I want to see new things. And then finally, it also serves as a great SEO thing, because each one of these listings actually leaves a little crumb for Google to find. Now, the next section here is the community section. The community section, if you put your mouse over any one of these, you see they're clickable. And if they click one of these sections, once again, you are reinforcing that you as an agent are just a touch above everybody else, because you're a source of constant personalized information. And so here you can see every property that is listed for sale in the community that the customer chose. And it's just nice if they click through, which I'll show you in a bit. They'll get a really good feel for that property. And then if they click over to the market report, they'll see information about the market that they're looking at as a whole. So they'll see the median price, the sale or list price, etc. And again, this is just you reinforcing that you are a source of information. You're a professional, you're an expert. You know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, and you can get them the information they need to make an educated decision. And that is so key. You're not a salesperson, you're a consultant who's providing information and then helping them make a decision based on what's best for them. Now, if you go back here, you're going to see the next thing is a video section. And the video section, again, is an opportunity for you in a site and a space where you control the narrative to present branding information that's unique to you and that hopefully is creating that hook that you want to create by making a personal connection. We highly recommend that you have at least one video that you put together. It doesn't have to be super professional. You can pull it off with an iPhone, but make it something that makes people connect to you, that makes people feel like they know you. We'll give you some pointers on that as well. Next, the all-important testimonials section. It is imperative. Let me tell you something. It's great when you say good things about yourself, but it's so much more powerful when other people say good things about you. And so this is where we do that. Now, if you click on this View All Testimonials, it'll take you here. And this page is really beautifully laid out, kind of checkerboard style. And the key to this page is we're all familiar with companies who use fake reviews. And so the idea of having reviews that have some real proof on them, not just the review, but the review with the person's name, when they, what transaction they did, when they did it, and where they did it. It just adds an air of authenticity that just makes it much more credible. And credibility and legitimacy are key things that you want to establish in the minds of your prospects. Now, after the testimonials, you see we have an Instagram feed. Now this Instagram feed updates every day. And the reason why this is so cool is, first of all, it gives fresh new content to your page every day. And the reason why we feed Instagram as opposed to, say, Facebook is because it's image driven. And it just looks good. And it's a good way to keep things fresh. Now, finally, we have a call to action here at the bottom. And that's just basic standard procedure to make sure that anybody who does want to connect with you has a simple way to do it. There's a tab up here, Contact Me. They can reach out to you that way, but you should always have something right on your homepage, and so that's what we put that there for. Now, all of that's great, but the heart of the website, see, the front page, that's where you just grab people, establish this, like I said before, that parchment paper raised letter feel, but that's not the end of the site. Once you get inside of it, and I'm not going to go through every tab, but I'm going to show you this one because it's important. So this is the map search function within the website. And this search function is really key. And the first thing I want you to notice about this search function is how much it mirrors that familiar website, Zillow. See, there's no sense in trying to create a search function or a search experience that's different than what the consumer is already used to, because it just requires training that if you don't need to retrain them, why bother? So by showing them what they're used to, they're much more likely to grab a hold of it and utilize it. Now, the beauty of this system is, and I'll just show you, they can save a search in a location with pricing. They can pick how many bathrooms, how many bedrooms, whether they want condos or just houses. I'm going to just put houses. And they even have this option where they can pick out if they want new construction or a fireplace, or just to give you an example, a pool. If I click off a pool, you see it went from 51 to 4. But whatever the case may be, they're able to then save the search. Now, once they save this search, anytime any property that comes up that meets those parameters, they'll get an email that looks like this. Now, again, I cannot stress enough how important it is, rather than to be a source of sales material, to be a source of information. Information is the new gold standard in anything marketing related. You want to be a source of information. So here, this is when they click through to see a property, and I want to show you this email again. You see the email, it gives them an alert. It tells them about 2 properties that actually went down in price, because that could be something that maybe when it was at the higher price, it was a little out of budget, but now all of a sudden, it's something that they can manage. And so this type of information, it's valuable to somebody who's looking to buy a house. Now, if they click through, I want you to see, they're going to get some beautiful pictures with the thumbnails. They're going to get a good little listing blurb about the property. They're going to get this whole information quick and easy to see about the bedrooms and bathrooms and square footage. They're also going to see all these features that are typically on the MLS, but the beauty of this is it's all laid out really clean, easy to see, no problem getting the information, and it's just a really nice way to give them what they need to know about the property. It even puts it on a map for them, and then gives them similar listings in their area. It even comes with a mortgage calculator and information about local schools. It even has a walk score for people who care about that. And so now, instead of spending all your time manually doing this, you're just autopilot getting them what they need, so that when they see something they like, they can schedule a tour. And when they schedule the tour, I want you to see that it basically says, it gives them a very open idea of when the tour is going to be scheduled for, but it gets them to fill out their information and then reach out to you with that information, so that you can then call them back, and you're not wasting time talking to people who aren't actually ready to move. And that's the beauty of this system from its back end. Now, you can also go into the back of your website, and as you can see here, you can set up a lead on your own. I can go back, and any lead that I have in the system, I can see what they viewed. I can see if they set up a search. All this information is available to me. It just makes me that much more effective. I can even go in here and set up a quick note so that I can write information. Because let me tell you, I speak to so many people who talk to customers, and they talk to so many people that it's a real problem to remember exactly what you talked about. And I know that most of you have CRMs, some do, some don't, but most of you do. But if you're honest, the CRM usually is pretty complex, and you may not be using it all the way. And so just having a simple, usable formula, this right here, I can set up a new lead. When I set up the new lead, I can actually go in, and just to give you this example of this lead that we put in my hand, I can go into this lead, I can go into the property organizer, and I can create another search manually for this person, and that way that search gets saved on their form, and they'll be able, and then anytime that any of the searches that any properties come that meet the search that I put in there, they'll get that information directly as well. So it's a real time saver. It's a great tool to have, and it's just and let me tell you this. I think it's also important to realize that this is a site and an area that you control. A lot of agents are pretty mobile nowadays in terms of where they're going to work. And so having a scenario where you absolutely control all your information is always a plus. Now, I also want you to see, now, and I'll show you a couple other examples real fast. Here you see, again, our trademark is video. We love video. See? This lady, if you want to get personal with your video, we can put that in there. Looks really good, looks strong. This lady, just to give you an idea, she's a Keller Williams agent. She's topping the charts. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Just getting it done. Anybody who's doing anything of any kind of seriousness in this industry, who's looking to prepare and position themselves moving forward, has to have some kind of strategy for their internet presence. It's just that basic. And our thing is, here's another one. This is a New York guy. Nice little, see if you click on one of these. It's very visual, gives you a lot of information, all at your fingertips. That's what we like. That's what we're looking for here.
Okay, so here's the scenario. Let's say I'm in a restaurant with my friend Gus, and I tell him I'm thinking about buying a house in the next few months. And does he know any good agents in the Atlanta area? He tells me, sure, call Taisha Ward Haynes. She's one of the best agents in Atlanta. Now, what do you think I'm going to do with that information? Because, newsflash, he isn't walking around with her business card in his pocket. No one does that anymore. As likely or not, what I'm going to do is Google it. And depending on what I see, will go a long way to determining whether or not I actually call Taisha. I mean, if she has good reviews, a good website, and a social media that's real estate relevant, I at least know she's a serious agent and not just a friend who does real estate on the side. See, as a real estate professional, you should never forget that a huge percentage of agents are part-timers who may or may not know what they're doing. And as a consumer who's looking to make the biggest purchase of my life, I need to know that I'm in good hands and that my chosen agent knows what they're doing. That is exactly the function that reviews on Google and social media can fulfill. They provide the social proof that confirms you do indeed know what you're doing. And that, coupled with a good website and a solid social media, can give me as a consumer the warm and fuzzies that's necessary to turn me from a prospect into a client. It's really just that basic. Okay, the next thing a prospect is going to do after looking at your search engine result page and your website is they're going to look at your social media, because that's what digitally savvy people do. As you can see, our client is getting great engagement here. Now let me tell you that engagement doesn't always translate into business. It can, but what's most important is that when your prospects look, they see real estate relevant professional posts, because it's all about perception. You see any one of these posts, if you click on it, will take you to a branded landing page with either a cool video or a professional blog. Now this just makes him look like he's serious and he's got everything together. Our automated posting system puts up daily content and takes the pressure off you so that you only have to post once in a while still getting the kind of engagement that you see here. Now the heart of all this is the reviews. We teach you how to generate and manage your reviews. You have to understand that in this day and age, social proof is what it's all about. It's nice when you say good things about yourself, but it's much more powerful and impactful when others say good things about you. Now let me tell you, we've tried literally 4 or 5 different review softwares, and they all had one issue or another. We found that we were losing reviews when we used them, so we decided to develop our own product. We focused on making it as seamless and painless as possible, and that's exactly what we feel we've accomplished. Now, as you can see, we only send out 2 options at a time because we find that when you send more than that, people kind of freeze up, and we want to make sure that they actually leave you a positive review. So as you can see, when you click here, the review prompt pops up quickly, and it makes it extremely easy for them to leave you a review and move along with their day. Now, we create similar feedback pages with different review sites for diversification. So no matter what review site your prospective clients go to, they'll see good things about you and your business. Now, I also want you to note that these feedback pages are not available on the website itself. And the only way someone gets to these pages is if you send them the direct link. You only send this feedback link to people who you know are happy so that you're controlling the narrative 100% of the time. I mean, think about it. When you buy a $150 juicer on Amazon, you're checking the reviews. Do you really think that a prospect who's considering and trusting you with the most important purchase of their life is not going to look at the reviews in this digital age? If you do, you're at real risk of falling behind as things go more and more digital. Now, the next piece of the puzzle is what we call our SEO power phrase, search engine optimization. The purpose of this phrase is to establish digital dominance in the minds of the prospect, particularly during a listing appointment. We designed this phrase so that when someone Googles the SEO power phrase, you appear first in the search results. This gives you a real wow factor. When you show a prospect that you've mastered Google to this extent, it cements your digital dominance in their minds. Now that takes me to the last two add-on features that I want to point out to you today. The first one is called Property Promotion Boost. Once you have thoroughly established yourself as a digitally dominant agent, one of the ways you can leverage this is with this service. The idea is that you differentiate yourself on a listing appointment by offering to create a landing page for the property and then driving traffic to it with a digital marketing campaign. The way it works is we use one of our partners to identify every person who has searched for a property in the zip code in question. Once identified, we send digital display ads to them everywhere they go on the internet. Essentially, it's like giving out thousands of flyers to interested buyers. More and more consumers expect that their agent will have this capability, so we give it to you. Now, the second one is really big. It's called retargeting. Now, the way retargeting works is by using another one of our partners to show your online ads to those viewers who have already visited your website. As your potential customers continue to search the web long after they've left your website, they'll find your ad following them from site to site, unconsciously increasing their awareness of your brand. Studies have shown that consumers need to see your brand at least 7 times before they take any action. This will take your presence and really reinforce the impression that you're everywhere. Retargeting keeps you top of mind, and definitely it makes you appear to be digitally dominant. That's it. We've covered everything that goes into an intentional internet presence. As you can see, these are some pretty powerful tools. And I know it seems like a lot, but remember what we told you. We do all the heavy lifting. And our vision is to make this all within the reach of every serious real estate professional.
Congratulations. You made it to the end of the video. And now that you can see just how robust the program is, let's dig right in and address the number one burning question you probably have right now.
How much? Because let's face it, this thing could be the best thing since sliced bread, but if it's not going to give you a real bang for your buck, what's the point?
And don't worry, we didn't forget the special offer we promised in the beginning. So here it is.
For anybody who gets signed up with us today, we're going to go ahead and waive all the development fees for one of these beautiful sites.
Now that is typically anywhere from a $3,500 to as high as a $5,000 value that we're going to go ahead and give you.
Simply as a way of getting our relationship started on the right foot.
Now you will be responsible for a one-time setup fee of $799. That's for the back-end work that goes into getting your brand visibility and your social media dashboard set up.
But after all that, all you pay is $199 a month for the entire base package. That includes hosting, IDX, daily posts, unlimited emails, and posting your listings as well. There are no hidden costs here.
Now, if you've priced out any of these services, you know that is significantly less than you would expect to spend for even part of this package traditionally.
And there is no long-term commitment, so you can cancel anytime, and you can even transfer the site we give you if you like.
Now, if you're wondering why we're willing to operate this way, it's because we're that confident that you will be more than satisfied with our service and that you'll even want to tell your friends about us.
It's like we told you. We are intentionally coming in and disrupting the entire industry by making these types of services much more affordable than they've ever been in the past.
So go ahead, click the link, set an appointment, and let's begin the journey of getting you to Realty Influencer status.
Have a great day.
And be blessed.